Hey, hello, welcome back to Forever United TV. I'm Adam. If you are new to the channel and wondering why we are going live around the midday mark, we do this on Ruben Amorim's press conferences throughout the season. Ruben is currently speaking to the media at Manchester United now at Carrington. We will get the embargoed version of that press conference coming in about just under 15 minutes time. So we're going to go through all of the news. We're going to go through all of Ruben Amorim's quotes as they come out, discuss them, debate them, talk about everything ahead of this Manchester derby. It is a full-on debate show, and we are bringing you up to date with all of the important stuff from this press conference, because I think it is going to all revolve around the players that are available. I think that's the big one, the big takeaway from this one. Obviously, we've got the opponent's view of things as well. Pep Guardiola. Before we get into Ruben around about 1:30, let's go what he's been saying. And the biggest update to go from the Pep Guardiola press conference ahead of the derby is the players that City have got missing. Now, obviously, we have been waiting to see who is available for Manchester United, who will be available for starting. Let's be honest, I think that's the one. But just on the City side of things, they too having a few injury problems. Well, more than a few, because Pep Guardiola today has confirmed that Ryan Aït-Nouri, Ryan Cherki and Omar Mamouche will miss the clash with Manchester United, as we have seen before. And John Stones also remains a major doubt for the Manchester derby. So 4 key players for Manchester City. In fact, 3 of their new signings from the last 6 months are out of this game. So that's an interesting one for them. Obviously, in the attacking side of things, Aït-Nouri down that full-back position is key for Pep Guardiola. Obviously, Ryan Cherki as well. Omar Mamouche, 2 very good players. Omar Mamouche really finding his feet. Obviously, winning the goal of the season last season. I think he would have caused Manchester United a problem in this game. So I'm happy that Manchester City are dealing with that kind of injuries. Obviously, the main man is Erling Haaland. 5 goals, obviously, this week for Norway. So he's going into the game in top form. And again, regarding Pep Guardiola, Manchester City, I think they're there for the taking. I really do think that Manchester United stand a really good chance in this game, and I think we should be going into it feeling confident that we can get something from it. If we do, when we get the win, it's big. I'm wondering if the press conference will be going down the road of questions in the line of, can you get your first back-to-back win in the Premier League? Are you confident going into the Manchester derby? Are there any feelings from what you learned last time out, where, of course, Ruben Amorim beat Pep Guardiola in the Manchester derby in this fixture last season? And remember, it was only a few games in, around December time. We beat Manchester City 2-1. It was a great day. The last-minute goal from, obviously, Ahmad in that game. I'm guessing there's going to be certain questions around. But another big one that we're expecting to get the answers for is, of course, the goalkeeper. Who is going to play in goal? I was on Sky Sports not too long ago, actually, talking to Jay Bothroyd and Tom on Sky Sports, and they were asking the same questions. Who would start in goal? Jay Bothroyd actually said start Tom Heaton in goal. Hey, look, he's bold, and you know my opinions on Tom Heaton and the goalkeeping situation at United. If he'd have had a bit more match practice, I probably would have been shouting that myself, but not playing in 5 years definitely doesn't help the cause when it comes to match sharpness and going into a Manchester derby anyway. But yeah, where do you all think Manchester United will go with the goalkeeping department? Has this week changed your mind? Now, we've not touched on this for a few days now. Obviously, start of the week, we start to talk about the derby, obviously, and week preparation. I think we touched on it, and we was asking the question, who do you think will start in goal for United, Senna Lammens or Altay Bayinde? And I just want to gauge the chat and see where you're actually at with it in terms of, has this week convinced you otherwise? Have you read anything, watched anything, listened to somebody else's opinion that made you feel a little bit different in your thoughts on what you think is the right way to go for the Manchester United #1 spots this weekend? Get into the comment section and talk to me, everybody. Who would you play? Not who you think will play, but who would you play in goal for Manchester United? Which way would you go? We know that Bayinde is the favourites. Forget that. Move it aside and give me your honest gut feeling. Which way, if you were Manchester United manager right now, would you go with the goalkeeper? You know this question is going to be asked in the press conference, so let's get our own thoughts on it before we get into Ruben's quotes and gauge where the live chat is at with this one. Who starts for Manchester United in goal, please, everybody? Yes, Nathan, Sky Sports News was on earlier on. It was quite a laugh, actually. I was just winding them up about the Manchester derby. playing down other derbies and things like that. I'm sure the clips will be up on X, no doubt. They usually are later on in the day, so go and check them out as well. Let's see what we've got. The press conference will be out later on MUTV as well, everybody. We're just going to go through the quotes from that and break them all down here. Obviously, I'll watch it back later and come back later on this evening with my thoughts, body language, and the way that Ruben's answering things, talking about how upbeat he actually is and things like this. So we're going to go through it. Right, Paul says he'd go with Lamans. James has gone with Lamans as well. Let's see what else we've got in here. I would start Senna Lamans, says Babs. There's a lot of Lamans actual opinion in the chat today here. Lamans, Simon says Heaton as well. Mike's gone Lamans for sure. The guy has to start his time. Lamans. Wow, it is a landslide in the comments section, really, when it comes to what goalkeeper we should be playing. Now, Steve also says Lamans is a professional. He should expect to play all the time. Simple. I get that. I totally get where you're coming from. April says, I'd start Lamans, who I know nothing about, but he surely can't be any worse than what we have. Yeah, I think that's probably... I think that's definitely a look how a lot of United fans are. I think it's a look of a lot of United fans heading into the derby, this one. It's like, can it get any worse? Is Lamans going to be any worse than what we've had? Definitely not. Oh, by the way, did you see the Trabzonspor welcome video for Andre Onana? Oh my God, like it belongs in an Arsenal video collection, that one. God, what was that all about? Anyway, yeah, the celebrations for Andre Onana landing in Trabzonspor and signing that deal, and the whole palaver around the player coming into the club. You're welcome, by the way, Trabzonspor. Yeah. But thank you at the same time. My God. Weezy says, Bain Day, I won't throw Lamans in a derby game, because if he plays bad, he might never recover with all eyes on him every game. The thing is, if we don't play him and then we lose, now this is a decision that the manager has to obviously make. If we don't play Senna Lamans and we lose the game, and it's a mistake from Bain Day, Ruben's going to get it in the neck. There's only so much protection you can give to a player, isn't there? You cannot expect this player to not want to play. You cannot expect to just put the player on the sideline and then not take the criticism coming your way. This is where the managers earn their corn, you could say. I would... Honestly, he's not played in the Premier League. Obviously, my head is way out fighting my heart at the moment, because I know inside that the players will probably get a boost from having a new face in goal. I think they'll be upbeat. I think they'll feel confident. Obviously, people talk about the camaraderie, the connection, the understanding, and players getting used to new players coming in. I just think with a goalkeeper, it gives you such a boost if you know you've got someone else in who is a lot more secure. And let's be honest, Man United players don't know how good Lamans is. All they know is that Man United have just spent 20 million quid on a new goalkeeper because he's supposedly the best young goalkeeper in Europe right now. They'll read the same things we do. Don't forget that. Don't even think that they won't. So they're expecting things here from Lamans. And I think if you put him in a derby, I'd rather a goalkeeper, and I've said this before, in a weird way, I'd rather him be in a bigger game, because he's going to get tested a lot more. And when he's quiet, and we're dominating the game, and we need a goalkeeper just to stay completely focused. And there's that nervousness, doesn't it, when the ball's coming to you? If the keeper's busy, which I expect him to be busier, I think United will actually win the possession stats tomorrow on Sunday. Sorry, I really do. I think United will lead all of the possession numbers and everything. So again, I think if the keeper's busier, which I think he will be, and City will test him, I think it's better for him to come into a game like that, honestly. That is, am I the only one thinking that? Is that not like, I'd rather be busy and at it than stood back waiting for that moment. I think the nerves will start to build, and maybe the City and Chelsea games are the perfect games to come into. You can completely argue the other way. It's like you could get bombarded. We lose 5-0 and it's doom and gloom Manchester United again. That could easily happen tomorrow. Like not putting it past Man City battering us, by the way. We know that we can capitulate. We know that City can turn it on their day. We just haven't seen it for a while, and that's why I'm more confident going into this game. And I feel like we are now in a place where we can go in and actually really challenge Manchester City and feel confident that we can actually beat them. We've done it before. We did it last season in our worst ever season. And City are no stronger, I don't think, at all in this game in terms of personnel. So let's go out and beat them. That's how I see it. That's how I see Manchester United going into this derby, in there to win the game. Simple as. Mr. Dacia Sandero in the chat says, I think if we weren't in the middle of the international, I think Lamens would play, but he hasn't played at this level. And personally, I think he needs to get to know the squad first. The Andrew says, that's not a fair take. If Lamens struggles first game, then we blame Amorim. If Baindy makes a mistake, we blame Amorim. It's so annoying. Look, I'm not saying that it's Amorim's fault. I'm just saying it's tough for him to make decisions. But you know how the media are going to run it, guys. Come on. Like, you know that if it all goes wrong for Ruben tomorrow, his decision on the goalkeeper will be one that's made up, one that's brought up and talked about a lot. His decision on the midfielders and who he plays. If he doesn't play Sesko tomorrow, everyone's going to ask that question. Say, for instance, and I'm not trying to doom and gloom this here either. Say, for instance, Manchester United didn't play Benjamin Sesko tomorrow and United don't score any goals. Ruben is going to get pounded. You know he is. They're going to come in and they're going to come in with the knife sharpened and they're going to dig. And they're going to dig deep. And you know that's going to hurt. Them cuts are going to cut deep and it's going to hurt. Because it's going to go back to where we was last season with certain decisions that Ruben was making that everybody was questioning. And I think a lot of good work that's been done through pre-season and the start of this season. There's just a really good chance here that United can move forward from the start of the season and a good summer and 4 games in, be comfortably in the top 6 if we beat Manchester City. It will be such a good vibe around the football club. And we've already got Arsenal and City out the way, and then we're heading into Chelsea. We've got tough games. If we're still in and around that top 8 after the first 6 games of this, after the next 6 games of this season, and you know who we've got, obviously, City, Chelsea, Brentford, Sunderland, and then it's Liverpool and Brighton. Incredibly difficult games. Every game's difficult in the Premier League. But then, we have notoriously got a crap record in them games. We get through that. We're still in the top 8. I'm actually a happy man. I'm actually all right with that. I'm taking that as the opening to the season. 9 games in. We're into November near enough. Well into October, November. And we're in amongst it. We're not too far cut adrift. And we're heading into the Christmas break near enough. I'd be happy with that because United just need to, I think, be up there. I think we need to be... I think consistency is the key in this one. And if United are not losing games constantly like we did last season, I think that will give confidence to the squad. And I think we can start putting a bit of a run together. Definitely with all of the preparation and all of the time that we've got to prepare for each game, recovery and everything like that. I do believe that is going to play a big, big factor in this. Right, just waiting now for Ruben Amorim. We should be getting the quotes coming through. And yep, here we go. We have got the first one through. And of course, we have got the injury updates. So Amorim on the injuries. So we are missing Cunha, Mount and Dalot are all not fit for this game. Ruben says that they are out for this game. I don't know how long it's going to take. We need these guys to be competitive, to be a competitive team. We have very good players who are eager to play, so we will be competitive on Sunday, but they are out. Right, okay, first one. The big question. No Cunha, no Mount, no Dalot. So, on that, where do we go? Does that mean that Bruno automatically now steps into number 10? Because we're missing the right wing-back, who we would have played if he wanted to push Ahmad into the 10 role instead of Bruno. That being if he wanted to keep Bruno at 10. So it would have been Ahmad, Mbeumo and Sesko, possibly. I think what this is, and the news that's here, is that Ahmad's going to be at wing-back, Dorgu's going to be at left wing-back, and then we're going to see Benjamin Sesko 100%, unless he plays Xerxes ahead of him. If that is the case, I would be worried. For reasons being, you just spent 73 million on a striker and you're scared of playing him. We're 4 games in. Like, this guy needs game time. He needs to play in matches. There isn't enough matches to bed players in anymore. He has to be in. There's no testing the waters with midweek Carabao Cup and UEFA Cup competitions. It's Premier League or nothing. He has to play. And this is the perfect chance now. Sesko in for me after that opening from Ruben Amorim there. He has to start this game now. If you want to say, if you talk to Cunha outside, he will say he can play this game. They are pushing really hard. That's like a little hint there as to where the players are at. Like, for me, it doesn't sound like Cunha is too far away. Obviously, if you don't want to rush your player back when you've got so much cover off. You need Cunha for the rest of this season. He is a massive miss for Manchester United in this game. He's a huge miss for United. And I would love him to be in the Manchester derby because you know you're going to get that quality. But you are pushing Bruno back into the number 10 because of this now. Brian Mbeumo is there, and you've got that absolute threat and goal threat, especially from crosses now. And I'm hoping that we're going to get some crosses in from Mbeumo, some crosses in from Bruno, and Sesko can get his head on the end of things. I think it's set up nicely now for Sesko to come in, Bruno at 10, and then it's a choice between Kobe or Manuel Ugarte sat next to Casemiro. That's going to be the big one. But Ahmad will play, and I'm hoping Ahmad overlapping with Mbeumo. A few crosses in, again, like Benjamin Sesko. On the other side, you got Patrick Dorgu and Bruno Fernandes. See how they link up as well. That should be interesting. And obviously, I think we will create from this team. I think there's a great chance that we're going to create multiple chances in this game. Let's get the comments in first of all from you lot. That is the breaking news. There is no Mount, there is no Cunha, and there is no Diogo Dalot in this game. What do we reckon to that, everybody? Ruben has to have the balls. Ruben has the balls, I believe, alongside Radcliffe to slowly repair the damage the Glazers have done, and we are waking up, lads and ladies. I like that. Keep it coming. We have a chance now. Dalot is out. Some people actually happy that Dalot is out. Stu's going in there. Sesko must start now. Mainu Ugarte, central midfield. Bruno 10. Sesko up top with Ahmad right wing back. Pretty much like I said it there. I think Bruno still plays 8. Whatever happens, Sesko up top. Dorgu, Mazraoui wing backs. Ahmad and Mbeumo at 10s. You could actually have that. Would you play? Good point from Carle. I mentioned this the other day. Don't forget about Mazraoui. Is he going to go ultra defensive mode? Maybe push Ahmad in at 10 and play Maz at right wing back. It's a potential. There is definite potential there for it. You could see Mazraoui at right wing back. That, I think, it could be a big thing to take from his selection going into this game. Mazraoui at right wing back and Ahmad further forward. Honestly, if he's going to do that, I would still play Bleeding Bruno in that front three. The worst case scenario here is that Sesko doesn't start and Bruno. No, I'm torn into which way to go with this. Just play Bruno at 10 and give someone a chance in midfield. But Cal's right. There is a big shout here that Ruben is just going to stay stubborn. And we're going to see Bruno Fernandes in at number 8 and Mainu on the bench. With all of the 10s that are out and unavailable, and Kobe doesn't get into this game, you've got to start to worry for the man's future, haven't you? You really do. Okay. Amorim, I'm just going to go through a few quotes here from Amorim. Particularly on City. It's a top team with the best coach in the league, a team that is really hard to imagine how they are going to play. We were prepared for that, and we believe in our team. It will be a very good game. We know what to do. We have more training, and the table at the moment, United above City. It doesn't matter. Quite a lot rolled into one there. United have improved since the Etihad win. There was a question that was put to Ruben Amorim, and he said, I think we are a better team. If you see any aspects of the data, we are a better team. We are ready to play the game, but we need to show it on Monday. Sunday, maybe. There is he talking about there. That was just a quote I've read. That wasn't me getting mixed up with the days, by the way. The game is on Sunday, everybody. Amorim on Lamans. Here we go. We are really pleased. He is a goalkeeper with a lot of potential. We are in the moment that the goalkeeper needs to be really strong and have a lot of experience, but we also have to look at the present with focus on the future. So it is a bit of both. He will be ready. He will be ready if called upon Or is that sort of look at the potential to the experience pushing towards Bayindir? That's how I would take that there. More on Lamans. Sometimes you as a club, you try to see different options, one or another. We have an option that can give us different things in the moment, but also has a great potential to be our goalkeeper for the number one for years. He's actually talking up Lamans a bit here. He really is. Oh, okay. Will Bayindir start versus City? And Ruben's answer, yeah. Okay, there we go. It's been put to bed well and truly. Bayindir starts for Manchester United this weekend against Manchester City. It's the same thing I do with different positions, but Altay is going to continue. It is a different league, a different country, different training, different ball. So they will fight for the position. Different ball. Okay. But no, he's just laying it out there. Look, I don't think anyone's surprised at that with Ruben Amorim. And that is the big takeaway again there from the press conference. We wanted to know about the injuries. We wanted to know who was going to play in goal. And Ruben has given us all of that in one fell swoop. We know that Dalot, Cunha and Mason Mount will not feature at all. And we know that Bayindir is going to start in goal. Now all that's left to discuss and figure out and wait to see what happens is what happens with Bruno, the midfield, Mainu, Sesko. How's he going to mix it up in that outfield? What's going to happen in the game? Is he going to be forced into... Not forced, actually. What am I talking about? Forced. Ruben's never forced into anything. He is his own man. And I think Ruben now has got a big call to make on the midfield and in the flow of the game. With him being so... not aggressive, is the wrong word with that. So clear and so, adamant, bang, Bayindir plays. Simple as. Not even a question. That for me tells me that he's also going to go in exactly the same way with his outfield. I think he knows how good Mazraoui is. I just got a sneaky feeling now going off that. And Cal reminded me in the chat then, actually. I forgot about Mazraoui going into this day. I actually do think that Ahmad's going to be pushed forward. I think Sesko will play. I think it'll be Ahmad, Mbumo, Sesko. I think it's going to be Bruno and Casemiro. Mazraoui one side, Dorgu the other side. I think it will be Shaw, De Ligt and Yoro at the back and Bayindir in goal. That will be my prediction coming straight from that press conference from what's been said there. Anyway, I'm going to get back into the comments in a moment. Let's just double check on some more comments. A show of faith for Bayindir question. I think sometimes to connect with Andre Nana did a very good season in Inter. The quality is there, but in the club sometimes things is getting harder and harder. But in this club the pressure is so hard in every detail. Sometimes you need to make a change. I believe Altay, he is ready to play. So he is backing Altay Bayindir there. And you know what? I've got a problem with that. He's committing at least in giving Bayindir the job. It's decided 2 days before it's Bayindir. It was never in question. I'm actually happy that Ruben's come out and brought it up in the press conference today. It takes all of the questions and drama away from that team announcement going in on Sunday, and everybody already knows where they stand. I've got no issue with that at all. Of course you could say that the players will already know anyway, but I think it's just taking out of the equation here, any match day drama whatsoever before the game. We know these players are out. We know that Bayindir is going to be in goal. There's no one coming out or leaking news out about who's going to play or what's going to happen. Is he going to put Lamans straight in? No. He's gone with Bayindir. He's put to bed and we get on with it. We wait till Sunday to see how he performs. Academy player in the squad record. So Manchester United for the last so-and-so amount of years have already had an academy player in the matchday squad. I think it's going on 25 plus years now. Amazing record. But Ruben talking about this says, we want to maintain that. I don't want to be the guy to break that record, that idea. If you see the past Manchester United, that should be our goal in the future. So we should try to maintain that for sure. Yeah, try to maintain it, but don't make it a big thing. I mean, I'm not bothered if Manchester United's record of academy players coming through is there or isn't. You don't put a player in there just to keep a record going. You put a player in the matchday squad because he can impact the game. And obviously we've got Mainu there and he can do that. So we can get away with comments like that at the moment. But if Mainu leaves in January, then that record will be under threat. So what? So what if it's under threat? Like, you pick the best team to go forward. Times are changing at this football club. Nostalgia and historical FC, them days are gone. Like, you need to look forward and deal with the now and what's coming. Forget about what was. We cannot compete with what was. You need to earn the right to even start talking like you are a Manchester United coach or a player in this current setup right now for me. And talk of keeping an academy graduate in the starting line or in the matchday squad to continue that record, I'd rather win the league. I'd rather, like, obviously that's miles away, but I'd rather be going for trophies. I'd rather be fighting to win games and get top 4. Don't be bringing a player in because you just want to keep a record going that is completely, not irrelevant. It's not to the football club, but in terms of where we're at right now, that's not going to save Ruben's job. Pick the team that you think is going to be the best to play the way you want them to play. That's what I say anyway. Has he spoken to Vaiana? Obviously, the connection. His best friend in football is the sporting director at Manchester City, in case anybody didn't get that. Begiristain left Manchester City. He was the sporting director for Pep Guardiola for so many years since he's been there. And City went and got the sporting director, Hugo Vaiana, from Sporting Lisbon from the start of this season. And that, obviously, while he was at Sporting, Ruben was his best mate, and his best mate in football, as he has quoted in an interview, is Hugo Vaiana, and he now works for the opposition. He says, we have different jobs, we have different clubs, we don't talk about football. I am a red, he is a blue, but we are really close friends. That will not change. Oh, gosh, robot answers there from giving nothing away. They're trying to tease him in, you can feel it, you really can. It could be, in terms of the last word on Andre Onana, this, it could be considered Onana staying, but it could have been, he's basically saying, if he was going to stay. But I think as a club, we understood it, needed a change. Sometimes it's hard to point why. The performance, the moments, the bad luck in some moments was hard on him. Our thinking was to have a change with the goalkeepers. But I wish the best with Andre Onana. He was really good at working and helping the players. But sometimes you need to change the environment. A lot has been made of them comments, or leaked comments coming out of Manchester United, that the players thought it would have been impossible for Andre Onana to stay at Manchester United after everything that had happened. Those stories have started to do the rounds over yesterday into today. So again, I think the right decision was made. 100% it was made. Right, let's get into some of your comments before we bring up anything else. We're nearly at the end of this press conference now, by the sounds of it. We have a new member, but I can't see who it is on my screen. It's just gone off. YouTube's had me over there. Let's see what we've got in here. Sesko has to play, says Jonathan. Baindays, F-ups, and he's done, says Gray. Agreed, Cunha, a big miss. Not too worried about the rest. Cunha's definitely a miss. I totally agree with that, Antoinette and Ginge, on that one. The Turk in goal, Sesko not starting. Oh dear, Ruben, a worry for him if he keeps this up. He clearly didn't want Sesko or Lamens. No, I don't think so. I think he wanted both of them players. And Sesko, I think, will play. I do. I think it'll be Sesko, Ahmad and Mbeumo up front. I've said it before. That's my guess for the team anyway. But look, we'll gauge how this moves along through the days over this weekend. We may get more stories out. Don't forget, everybody, there is an embargo version for this press conference, which will probably be out tomorrow evening, I'm guessing. I'll just do some checking on this and make sure. But more on that later on in the evening show. But honestly, right now, looking at what Ruben said there, looks like he's fully prepared for the Manchester derby. He's not touching on any awkward questions. He's not getting into too much detail on certain players regarding whether they're going to come in and what time they're going to come in, like Lamens. He's just gone straight in. Bainday will start. He's taken the pressure out of the situation completely. Cunha doesn't sound like he's far away, is what I took from that. He feels like he can play, but United are holding him back. No word on Mount, really. They have to be careful with them. Mount's already been out for 2 weeks now, if you include the international break. So that, for me, is a little bit of a worry, because any sort of time when Mason Mount's out over 3 weeks, I'm starting to count the weeks then and worry about what might come. Dalot was a precaution. Like, Dalot's starting to pick up a few more injuries now. I've noticed this. Dalot was usually a machine. He was like the Bruno Ronaldo second coming. Never got injured. And now he started to pick up injuries quite regularly. And I remember last season he was out for a few games as well. And then starting of this season, also not quite at it. And that's a bit of a concern for Dalot himself. Maybe with Mazraoui there, the potential coming through from United's academy in Mantato and Kamasan. Obviously, Ahmad can play there. Dalot on the left-hand side. I mean, if United do bring through Diego Leon or even go into the market and buy another wing-back this summer, Dalot's days might be numbered. So, again, like people were bringing it up earlier on today, the old guard needs to be moved out by Manchester United. Could Dalot be part of that old guard? It's interesting. We'll see on this one. The media will push their agenda. Doesn't mean you have to help aid their agenda with the way you don't back this manager. Is that to me, Dale? Because you are watching the wrong channel, my friend. Because I have backed Ruben Amorim completely. I think you need to watch a few more shows, to be honest, mate, because everybody here knows I have backed Ruben Amorim on that one. The media will run it, but we are a news channel as well, and we do like to talk about the news and talk about people's opinions. But this is Manchester United. If you think that people are not going to talk about Manchester United, I worry. I worry for you a little bit. It's going to happen, and we have to deal with it the best way. And we'll always make a debate out of it. That's what it's about. There are two sides to everything. Just because you think you're right doesn't mean that the other person's wrong. And I know that. And what you're saying there is saying that I have got a problem with Ruben. You are completely wrong with that because everybody knows that isn't my opinion on it. So settle down a little bit on this one. Amorim is too cautious in selecting his new players. He seems to want to play the old experienced ones. Yeah, I can get how people might look at it that way. I do think that that is always going to be brought up, I think, with Ruben Amorim. I don't think it's necessarily as black and white as that, but look, I do think he has got a problem, and I've said this before. No cup games. Nothing at all. So the only games that these players can play in are Premier League games, unless we do, like that report said this morning, start to pop friendlies in the Middle East or Far East because we haven't got cup games and they want to make a little bit more money. I really hope that isn't the case. I really do hope that isn't the case. Anyway, let's double check to make sure that is the wrap on proceedings. It is. So the Anana quote was the last one. There is an embargo version, like I said, everybody. There will be another part to this press conference, and that will probably come out later on Saturday, tomorrow, and we'll bring you the stories from that. We are literally looking at the subscriber count right now, about 100 away. 102 subscribers from 100k subscribers. That's mental. But yeah, if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button. I'll keep you up to date with everything that's happening. We've got a busy old weekend starting from today. I do class the weekend starting on a Friday, by the way. If you're new to the channel, you might want to subscribe just because we have 3-day weekends here on Forever United TV. The weekend starts on the Friday because it's the press conference, it's the full build-up, it starts. So live in the football moment with us here on Forever United TV. Subscribe to the channel, be part of the journey with us. And it's only going to get busier this weekend. The excitement is building. The press conferences are in. Out for Manchester United, Dalot, Mount, and unfortunately, Matthias Cunha. Out for Manchester City, definitely. Mamouche, Aït-Nouri, and Shirky, and possibly John Stones as well. Both teams having problems. Both teams making goalkeeper selection calls, big calls as well. This is probably the hardest Manchester derby that we're ever going to have to predict, is what I'm saying, I think, from this. Ruben seems buoyant. He seems in decisive mode. We'll see if that continues into the weekend. But for now, everybody, that is us all wrapped up here on Forever United TV. Thank you for all of the likes and new subscribers. Please do give the video a like and hit that subscribe button on your way out. Get your comments in below on Ruben's press conference. And we will be back later on, everybody. Have a fantastic afternoon. Enjoy it. And like I said, the weekend's here. So get